Right on. There we go. It's very buzzy. Having your voice coming through the headphones while you speak. Yeah. It's a very trippy sort of experience.
Do you want a beer?
Yeah. Go for a mower. Cheers, man. I'm just getting. Is this kind of a crafty sort of a thing?
Pilsner, I guess so.
I have no idea, but I guess dry hopped. I'm getting into my craft. I've always been like, everyone's against them, and I'm like, oh, try it. And then some of my friends are into them, so I'm like, oh, try one and cheers, brother. And it's it's not too bad.
I guess it was kind of like what Kemsey and I were talking about. It depends what your desired outcome is.
Yeah.
If you wanted to get on the rats, then you're probably on the Ritz. Sorry, you're probably going for a balance of standard drinks per volume. Type vibe.
Yeah.
Which you'll get from a crafty because they're
quite high percentage.
Yeah,
considering.
But then they'll give you a headache. So
yeah. It's all a balance, isn't it?
Drink too much of anything, you have a bloody headache.
Quite tasty though.
Good.
Good stuff. Well, it's good to be here, bro.
Yeah. So my laptop.
Oh yeah. Before the show just started and then it crushed back down. We're back on. Yeah.
No, during COVID, these dudes, Real Movement Project in Australia, they had a bit of a seminar on via, I think it was called Workshop, basically a video platform. And one of the workshops was on, or presentations was on how to get better at your handstand.
Oh yeah. So you were trying.
Yeah. And so I was watching this thing in my little box room, so I had like my double bed in it.
Yeah.
And not much more room.
Yeah.
And so they was sort of saying do what's called toes off. So you walk yourself up the wall, so you're facing the wall,
right?
And then you're trying to lift your toes off, and try to hold freestanding as vertical as you can. And then
if you need to fall, you fall back onto the wall. Yeah.
Or you fall forward and you kind of...
You land on your laptop.
Tuck your knees in and drop your knee into the mouse pad and bust the screws on your laptop.
That's the options. Yeah.
It's still working.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's working.
Touch wood.
Touch a bit of wood. It's always good.
Nice, man. Yeah. So what have you been doing today? You said singing lessons.
Yeah, I've just... Actually, Seamus has... got me into it. Well, he didn't get me into it, but he started doing some singing lessons, and I'm like, damn, sign me up. Because the thing with rappers is that most of us can't sing, but would love to be able to sing, because we always writing, then it's time for a hook, and you're like, I want to sing this hook, but I just don't have the ability. So learning that, and I think that's kind of my goal. So I got his number off Seamus, and just booked a lesson, and he's like, come back every week. I'm like, all right.
How's the fella?
He's cool. He's a lot of energy, cool dude. And I'm seeing, like, I've been there 3 weeks now, and already a little bit of improvement, like just learning to relax, and it's all about the diaphragm and all these things. And it's actually helping with my rapping as well, which has been a cool thing to find out, Yeah.
And so, like, I've done speech. So sometimes I sort of think I got taught speech by a nun.
Oh yeah,
Sister Mary Eugene. And some days when I just let my laziness and Southland or carry over, I'll just like run a sentence together, and people will be like, "So what?"
Yeah,
and I'm just like, "Oh man, my speech teacher would be so ashamed of me right now." Yeah. And then I, the old ego at high school. Yeah, go away from doing choir for a bit, and then you get to seventh form, you're like, oh. Need a couple more extracurriculars.
Yeah.
A few more strings to the bow, and yes, same vibe with that whole like diaphragmatic breath and where you're coming from, and
so much
holding yourself.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You're not really taught how to speak or sing or anything. You just kind of like just see other people doing it, and then just start doing it yourself. And then some people, study it, and then you're like, oh, there's actually a way to learn how to be better at this thing. Like anything, you can just acquire the skill. Yeah. Some people definitely are more like genetically inclined to be more, make it easier for them to do it off the bat, But it's definitely, if you have the passion for anything, I swear you can just do it.
Although you watch the old American Idol, and
There's some terrible auditions.
There's some passionate people in there.
But they're just in this stage of development, you know. They're going to put the work in.
We'll need some constructive criticism
and help. If you saw my reps a few years ago, man, you'd say the same thing. So yeah, I think the way I'm approaching the singing is very similar to how I approach rap. Well, I didn't realize, you know, I just enjoyed doing rap. I didn't think I'd actually be a rapper.
Yeah.
But now that I've, you know, done it enough, I've acquired some skills. I'm like, you can actually get better. So do it with singing, you know? Yeah.
You're right. It is the same for most things. You can get quite proficient at a lot of things if you put in some time. Are willing to take some feedback.
And be a good student, because that's the biggest thing, you know? Student for life.
Yeah, bro.
Everything, man.
And I guess being good enough to say that you don't know and be willing to... Yeah.
Well, I think as soon as you say you know, then as soon as you say you're like, I've figured this out, you've just lost all your any improvement from that point. You know, so you always have to be the student. You always have to be learning and taking it all in and being like, there's something out there I don't know because I'm only, you know, stuck in my head trying to do my thing. Yeah. So keep figuring it out, eh? Yeah. And just being a student. Yeah, I love that. I want to get that tattooed on me. Student for life. I was so Seamus was smoking a doobie, and I was like, I want student for life. And he's like, a student for life. And I'm like, a student for life, a student for life. There's two different meanings. One thing, bro. It hit me like a ton of bricks. And then I was like, I was stoned. But also, it was cool, you know? Yeah. So solidified. I'm like, definitely going to do that tattoo now.
Have you got tattoos?
I got a few. I got a samurai on my thigh, which I got about a year ago, which was a big lesson for me in life. I was the amount of time I've been trying to do this art and because I'm a painter as well, trying to rap and do all these things. And I was passionate, do all these things, but didn't put enough work in to get the results I wanted. And last year, right when I got this tattoo, it was a samurai for discipline. So I got it after 3 months of just being super disciplined, had a schedule, stuck to it, ticked off every box, went into the studio, worked the full day, locked it up, you know, bowed at the end, stayed sober. It was all these things I did with my bro Jussie, and after that I was like, okay, now it's time. I feel like I'm disciplined, you know. And if I fall off the train and I get back on, you know, but I feel like I'm on a good little vibe right now. So
where did that come from?
I have no idea. I think I was on Pinterest or something real cheesy, but it said like discipline, or it had like a logo of a samurai or something, and it just meant that to me. So then I was like, well, it's meaningful for me, and that's all that really matters. So
nice. So you brought a paint to Atlantans on Saturday, that was?
Yep.
You did a piece while the show was on. So how many hours was that?
That was maybe 4.5. Something around there. 4.5 to 5. It was a cool little opportunity. It was the first time I've done it at like an event like that. I did do outfield. I did the painting there, which was actually the first time, but in like a small gig sort of scenario, very intimate, you know, like people were walking around and stuff. But it was a cool thing. Joe just asked me, he's like, you want to come paint at a thing? I'm like, sure, you know. And and it worked out so well. I got my friend Josie and Rosie to help me. They were painting, and at the end I had my first exhibition. First auction. So it was a cool experience, you know.
And so what was the vibe for the piece? It was kind of a girl and...
Yeah, I kind of just freestyled it, you know. Yeah. I kind of and contribute that side of like freestyling, because I was never really freestyling a lot rapping until I met all the boys and they started freestyling all the time. So I'm like, just got into it heavily, and then we're doing this freestyle Thursday, and you just get better and better. But then I was like, why don't I just do that with my art, you know? So walk up to a blank canvas and just, what do I want to paint? Oh, I see a face in there, and just start drawing away and let it all happen. So yeah, it's cool.
So where's your art start, finish come from?
I've always been inclined just to like doodle and draw and stuff, and I think because I just enjoyed it so much, I kind of got decently good at it. And then everyone around me being like, that's cool. And I'm like, validation? Okay, I'll do this all the time. Same thing with rapping. Like, all my boys like, oh, that was sick freestyle. And I'm like, oh, damn, I want to do this more. I want to get that validation, you know? Yeah. I think I wasn't conscious of it at the time, but looking back, that's most likely what it was.
So were you doing it in school or formally? Or?
Yeah, school. Just if there's a napkin, I'm just doodling. I used to come home every day just with drawings all over my body as well. My mum would just be like, "Wash that shit off." No, she actually always supported it. She's like, "That's cool.
Yeah.
Wash it off."
It
was good. Yeah.
That looks really nice.
Yeah.
Don't do it on your body.
Too bad. No,
yeah,
it's good.
Use napkins. Use
Yeah.
paper.
It's always like, because when you're a kid, you just want tattoos, you know?
Mm.
Or maybe I just did, you know? I was just,
Now you've got them.
trying. Yeah, now I got a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it hurt? Your thigh?
I did, and it wasn't I wasn't the best canvas for the tattoos. Luckily, it was my brother's girlfriend, and so she was just kind of wanting something to practice on. So I'm like, please do it for me. And I didn't actually expect it to be so good. She did Jussie's arm, my friend Jussie as well, and that was a third tattoo, and it was like, whoa, that's outstanding, you know, crazy. Yeah. She was an artist before, but, you know, transferred those skills really, really well. And then I'm like, here's my leg, and every time she went on it, like, I could not do anything about it, but my leg would just jerk, and it would be jerk, jerk, jerk. Every time the needle would hit, I'm like, trying to strap it down. So it was a long process of like her like going in and it'll jerk, like coming out, but she managed. She did really well considering.
Yeah.
I would not recommend tattooists for me, even though I want tattoos. I want to be covered, but yeah.
So where's her studio? Or is she still starting out?
She's got a little just a studio set up at her home, and just because she wanted to train under someone, do like an apprenticeship and stuff, but because she's like kind of getting her vibe going, and she's very independent herself, so she's like, I'm just gonna just do it myself. She lives in Wellington with my brother. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And does she still do art, or is
she does a lot of like Procreate sort of doodling on iPad, you know, sort of stuff. So it's pretty cool.
So what's her vibe with Procreate?
Procreate. So do you know what Procreate is?
Nah.
It's basically, do you know what Photoshop is?
Yes.
So you can get pixels, and basically on an iPad you can get the Apple Pen, and you can draw whatever you want onto the iPad, and it transfers into pixels onto the screen. Mm-hmm. So you can drag in a photo, just say I dragged in a photo of you, I can then draw around your face and then take the photo out, and the drawing's still there, and then you can start adding some other details. I've done a lot of it myself. Mm-hmm. It's a very cool thing. Actually, shout out to Jussie. He bought, on my 21st birthday, he organized like all my friends. I only got one present. He got everyone to contribute, and then he bought me an iPad, because I was really into my digital art, but I was doing everything with a mouse. And he was like, "This is not good enough." And then on my 21st birthday, he blindfolded me, and my whole family was there, and it was just like this really cool thing. And I was like, "What?" I had no idea what it was, and an iPad. So I was so stoked. I'm like, "Well, I have to use this now, or else, you know, it would be a waste." So that was actually part of the 3 months of discipline. Was every single day I did a 4-hour drawing on the iPad. So it was a daily digital doodle, and I'd post it on Instagram. It's a daily digital doodle, yo, and I'd pop it out like this. Today I did whoever, you know, like name a person, and then it's cool.
Now there's this lady illustrator in Te Awamutu, Kat Merriweather, and she does this, lots of children's books. Her main character is called Kui the Kiwi.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if it's on an iPad or not, but how she draws is she kind of, it gets a mirrored doodling, and so it gets this really nice caricature.
Cool, yeah.
And it's quite random. Because in the front of her books, she has her kids, and I guess the kids are now a little bit older, and you brought up Rose there.
Yeah.
The Kat's daughter is like a doppelganger of Rose.
Oh, really?
When I first saw her, and I was like,
"Is that you?"
Yeah, I was like reading the book. I was like, "Oh no, it doesn't say Rose." But like, her kids are like Opal and something like that. So I was like, "Oh, could be good." Yeah. Oh,
it's always weird when you see a twin out there, and you're like, "You're not who I thought you were."
Doppelgangers,
Doppelgangers, they're out there, man. Yeah.
And it's Through Styles Thursdays on last week.
Yeah,
got the ultimate compliment. The boys.
Yeah, Jack called you out, eh?
No, they're not there. There's a couple of the fellas out the back came. They went outside and came back in, and then they straight away go, "Do you know who you look like?" And I was like, "I've been told a few people, but here we go." They're like, "Conor McGregor." And I was like,
"Oh, you do?"
I was like, "Awesome!"
With the beard,
yeah. I was like, it must be the beard.
Yeah, and the eyes. No, there's a bit of your nose is a little bit broken as well. It seems like you've been in a fight or something.
Not really.
No.
Some dude near me in the face palm water polo. That wasn't good.
Oh, real?
Social. Don't play social sports, eh?
No.
That's where I've broken my nose.
Yeah.
Social water polo, just like at school, we ticked off a slightly older goalkeeper. He had anger issues, I think.
Wasn't the vibe. But
It was strange, eh? We didn't score the goal that time, and he just like held onto my dogs and held me under the water and threw the ball down the other end and kneed me in the face. I was like, good old man. And then playing social rugby, interfaculty stuff at Auckland. People playing social rugby weird movely, and I ended up planting my face into my old flatmate's cheek and spread my nose across my face.
That'll do it. That'll do it, man.
Yeah, don't
But
recommend.
it adds a bit of character, and you look like Conor McGregor, so there's always a win,
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in bars in Auckland, I was a bit more clean shaven then.
Oh yeah.
Because at uni we'd do clinics, and so you could chuck on a shirt and tie and be clean shaven and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was always 50-50, and it'd be like, who's the Magic Mike fella? Channing Tatum. I was like, yeah, I'll take that.
That's a good one to get.
Or old mate Dawson from I don't know what his real name is, but like from Dawson's Creek.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, it was like a 90s teenage.
I'm 21.
Yeah,
I'm a youngin.
You know, poor old Dawson. He's got this meme of him crying, and, and he's got like ultimate centre part penis cut hairdo as well. And it's like, I don't want to be Dawson.
Yeah, no, I'll take Channing Tatum over Dawson.
I was like, maybe I should shave my hair. Look a little bit more like Channing Tatum than Dawson with his penis cut.
Yeah.
If he has some good hairdos.
Yeah, I've kind of always had just like I'm always wearing hats and beanies and stuff. Nobody knows. I've actually got like quite long hair now. It's getting longer.
Your album cover, you've got a good do on.
Oh yeah. I got a bit of a do. I'm kind of it's kind of going back and forth. When I was maybe like a year ago, I shaved my head. Oh no, that'll be 2 years ago now. Shaved my head and just had it clean shaven. Everyone was like, "Who are you?" I did not recognize. But it's such a freeing feeling shaving your head. That's just like letting go and just like, okay, this is me now.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I go through phases. Top of my head's not the most well covered, so go through phases of like, just, and then you get a mean barber cut. And you're like, oh no, it's good.
Yeah.
But I remember, it must have been fifth form. Did that. My mum wasn't impressed.
No.
Yeah, because I did it to myself too.
Yeah,
and so
it wasn't the smoothest cut.
Actually, that was when I came up here for a football tournament.
True. Oh, where did you used to live?
In Invercargill.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
that's a buzzy place to live. My uncle lives there.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What's he into down deep south?
Farming.
Does he have a classic car too?
Yeah, I've seen some of his cars. He's got a couple, I think. But his neighbor had these crazy cars. I actually haven't been out there in probably 10 years or so. When I was a kid, but I remember the cars. There were some nice ones.
Yeah. Did you grow up in Wellington?
No. I was actually born in Whakatane.
Yeah.
And shout out Bay of Plenty. But I moved to Hawke's Bay when I was 10, so I've just kind of Hawke's Bay is definitely home for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so where did you and Joe link up then?
Yeah, it was buzzy actually the way we met because it was my 18th birthday. And I skipped school because I'm like, I'm not going to school. Mum's like, just go to school. I'm like, no, it's on my 18th birthday. I do what I want. She was like, oh, do whatever you want.
Your mom
and then I'm like hitting up all my friends. I'm like, want to hang out? They're all at school, or at work. I'm like, damn, what am I supposed to do? And then one of my friends replied, Quinn. I was kind of close to her at the time, Ish. And I'm like, oh, someone to hang out with. It's my birthday. He's like, come on over. My friend Joe's over. I'm like, oh, sweet. Went over and Joe was just sitting there playing the guitar. I'm like, oh, nice. I do a bit of rapping. He's like, oh, cool. And he just started strumming, and we just started I started rapping and singing. And then he was like, "Oh, it's your birthday. Here's a pack of darts." I'm like, "Oh, damn, this is crazy." This guy is gonna be my friend. And then literally since that moment, we've just hung out just nonstop for 3 years, 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so like, how does
he was a cool birthday present?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
18, meet Joey Cole.
Joey Cole, man, he's a character.
No, so what is it like having a dude on the couch playing the guitar, and then it seems like all you guys are like, oh, he's my instant friend.
Yeah, literally, man. It is. Is that what everyone else said as well?
It's kind of.
It's kind of probably how he makes a lot of his friends. Is you just be like there, and everyone's like, "Oh, damn, what are you?" And then they get to know him. He's like, "Oh, he's a fucking awesome, cool dude as well." Can I swear on here? This is all sweet, eh?
Of course.
Right. Fuck yeah. But yeah, yeah, it's good. I met Camsy and Seamus the same night.
Yeah.
Not that night, but on the same night, and Joey was actually they've probably all told you these same stories, but Joey was looking for a place to live, and Cam's like, come to live with mine, and so they were living together, and then Joey invited me over to freestyle, and Camsy invited Seamus, and then we all just met, and we're like, oh damn, we're all friends instantly, yeah. It's weird how if you kind of share a connection with someone because you've done something or you do something, it's an easy way to bond, you know.
And so where does Jussie fall into the mix?
He's a buzzy little. He came into my. I think he hit me up on Instagram like, I want to work out or want to work or something. And I'm like, oh yeah, keen as you make videos or whatever. We met up, and then like that night we like got high and we're like chilling out. I'm like, we just talked for hours and hours and hours. And I'm like, you should be my manager. And he's like, yeah. And then like the next morning he's like, I can't be your manager, but I want to help you like do your thing. I'm like, oh dope. And then, ever since that moment, we just kept on making stuff together. And he's probably the closest friend of mine. And we do everything. I live with him.
Yeah, I was going to ask. You guys live together.
Yeah. It was me, him, and his girlfriend Hannah, who's actually my manager now. So it's weird how it comes full circle. But everything I do, I consider him in my brain, and the way we look forward to the future. We're just constantly. It's nice living with someone that you're constantly just thinking of the future together. Like, okay, nice. How can we be ambitious here? How can we do this? How can we always talking about people's plays, people's this and that. It's a really cool thing. Yeah, he would be good on this podcast actually.
Yeah, I've been following him a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
You guys are such a mad crew on what you're doing.
It's a cool crew to be a part of, man. You know? And all Misfits, Seamus and Cam, it's all new to me as well. Like they've kind of just brought me in. I'm sure it's new for them as well. It's all just it's happened in the last, few months strongly, which has been a cool thing to be a part of,
Yeah,
feel the undertow.
I was going to say something like that, Jack's always going on about the froth. Like, the froth and you're
spread the fucking soul juice, my G. But it's true, man. He gets you hyped as hell, He starts talking, you're like, yeah, let's fucking take over the world.
Yeah. Now, it's cool what you said about how you and Jussie sort of constantly talking, constantly thinking about the future.
Constant in conversation, yeah. We're actually going to do a podcast together.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. In the dojo. So tune in when it's ready.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be any day now. It's been like this moment where we got the equipment.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh yeah, let's do it. And it's the same thing, like taking action, like just do it. We're like, we're going to set up the studio first. It's all set up. Literally, this has actually been the first week of like studio work for me. It's just been constantly setting up, preparing, getting everything, all my ducks in line and stuff. It's weird because I want to keep like saying like, this is a reason why I haven't been creating art, but there's still time, and it's probably more of an excuse. But now I don't have an excuse, so now I have to. So I've been in the studio every day, which has been a cool feeling.
And so, how much of that discipline practice that you did for 3 months is coming back?
Well, it's all there. I mean, I didn't lose it in the sense of I still put hours in every day. I've been working non-stoply. I wake up, I just start, doing things, getting things ready, and preparation is a big part of doing something well. So, it's not mainly an excuse, but in terms of art, I actually have been creating is just been so minimal up until this week for the last couple months.
So now, what's the sort of ruminating process going on in your head, or papers, or what are you sort of doing to ruminate and come up with ideas and finding inspiration before you get motivated and go and execute it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't rely on motivation. I think I like the way of living pretty spontaneity.
Yeah.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
That's the word. Spontaneous. I like living like that. So I've got my structure in line. So I know what my schedule is. I need to wake up, go into the dojo, create, what I need to create in this week, whether it be a painting, whether it be a few digital illustrations, or all of these things. But I usually don't think about what I'm creating till I'm in the flow state. Right. So I set up everything so my body ends up in that place that I'm moving. So I'm like, now it's time to work. What do I want to do? And then because I haven't thought about it too much and dreaded on it and all these things, it's such a fresh mind just to, okay, well, I kind of scroll here. Oh, I like that face. Bring it in, bring it up there, start sketching it out, and then just let my brain, I never have an end in mind. I'm always just like trying to move it and change it and see what the art wants to become, in a sense. It's kind of a weird way of looking at it, but I like to see it in the sense of like there's a dope piece in there, and it wants to be there, and I'm just the vessel to take it there, you know. So rather than being like, look at what I'm, you know, I hate that sort of like idea of it, because it's never felt like that for me.
Yeah,
it's always felt like I don't know if you know the term the muse.
Yes,
but the muse comes and it helps. I don't know what it is, but it's always there, you know. And sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's weaker, but if you don't do the work, it's not there for you. So, you know, it's a partnership.
Yeah, my sort of experience with the muse thing, and I've often, you know, Jurgens keeps talking, especially of late. He's been bringing up heaps.
Yeah,
the Stephen Pressfield War of Art or something.
That's a very powerful book.
You read it?
Yeah, I've got War of Art, Do the Work, and Turning Pro. Very important books for any artist, any person. Straight up, man. Yeah, there's like, you can apply those lessons. There's some real deep truth. Yeah, and simplified truth, and those that you can apply to a lot of things.
Yeah, so my experience with it is blogging. Yep. Like, so I've got like 2 ideas in my head at the moment that I need to literally sit down and write.
Fight resistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make time.
Make time, man.
Yeah. So the last one I did was about I was trying to write it in one piece about the whole process of doing the ultra running and what sort of revelations I had in my head.
Have you been doing ultra running?
I did. I sort of trained for 8 months. So I started running during COVID. I started like at my flatmate's farm. There was
who didn't, eh?
Yeah.
Pick up the sneakers like, I'm running now.
Well, there was nothing.
A lot of people fell off, but
yeah, there's nothing you could do. Nothing you can do.
No.
So like, I'm pretty inspired by Cam Hanes.
Yeah.
Like
David Goggins.
Yeah. David Goggins is
more Cam Hanes though.
Yeah, more Cam Hanes. Just because
he's a hunter as well.
Yeah, it's the purpose of it is what I can resonate with, and I love being in the mountains, and seriously, it made a massive difference. Like since doing that run, I've loved being in the mountains like that. Yeah. I was out 2 weekends ago, and I just like dropped down this big ass spur that was like 300 meters in elevation, and then I was like. Man, this is going really well. Yeah. And I like was sitting at the bottom waiting. I was like, damn, I'm gonna walk back up the hill. And then I did it in like 10 minutes. I was like, sweet. Yeah. Like I'm fit. I've got that base. So
what a landscape to do it as well. You know, I never really, because I haven't considered that, you know, in the sense of ultra running in the mountains, but New Zealand's a place to be for that scenario to happen for you.
Yeah. And like it was painful and hurt, and the training took up so much time.
Yeah.
And it didn't
mental.
Yeah.
Shit.
and so like that experience came about, and I was like, right, I got to write about this because it was significant, and like it's definitely shaped a lot of thinking going into this year, and sort of helped me a lot get over separating from my family and things like that. And then so it was kind of like, right, I got to write this, and I sort of would get a blank appointment or something, and so I started tapping away, and then I'd kind of get on a little bit of flow, and then I'd leave it, and so then it'd be another week go by, and then I'd start writing a little bit more. Another week would go by, and then so I got back from hunting, and I had a Sunday free, and so I was like, right, I got to sit down and just do this. And then, like I say, you make the time for it, and the muse shows up, and you go, oh, now I've done it.
Yeah, it's weird.
And you're like, awesome. And
you get out of your own way, eh? That's a huge thing a lot of people talk about.
Yeah, exactly
just,
that.
You know, moving out of your own way and letting that whole thing just be the vessel, and you're there, but you're kind of not. You know, you kind of come out of it like, what did I just make?
Yeah.
What did I just write down?
And it was good when I was with my ex, because I just used to like just make an hour and just dump, and then I'd be like, right, does this make any sense? It's like, oh, it's really good, but you know, you need to fix this up, this up, this up. And so the odd time, what are you trying to say here? But so now I've got to write about the actual race, and then also the connection that I've had with part of the car workers, especially this year. I've been in there, so I've been in there 6 times, so there's sort of, you know, 2 weeks worth of my life.
That's a lot.
Looking around, getting intimate with the place and different trees. And
do you go alone?
Mostly, yeah. I took a guy in there for he's an Aussie guy. I took a guy in there for his first time, And then that last time I met someone at the hut, just someone off Instagram, he was like,
cool.
he said he was going in. I was like, oh, I'll see you at the hut. And it was real good, eh? And
That's good.
similar age. He's got a young daughter as well. And sort of, I think he said she was 10 months old. And I was like, oh, yeah. What are you going through? Oh, yeah. I know about this.
Similar life, me and you. Yeah.
No, it's fuzzy. So, yeah.
It's weird how those things kind of link up, eh? And that bond is created so much easier because you are doing, living a similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say that? Yeah. The connection is just made easier because of that?
There was, being a parent is really fucking intense.
I can only imagine, and I'm definitely waiting. no rush. Yeah.
And so, the relatability was really uncanny.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the modern Western world now is really strange. Like families, don't live in the same place anymore.
No, it's a weird time to live. It's strange times.
Parents go back to work. We outsource,
everything.
Our daycare, our entertainment,
it would be. It's probably a huge problem that's going to happen in this culture, in this generation that we're living in, is the kids are going to be so disconnected from their parents because of that, not having that present time with them, being with them all the time. And
do you allow yourself to get bored?
I'm not bored a lot.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. Where was it stemming from? I'm keen to dig.
Or it's funny at the gym, at the CrossFit gym, there's quite a few people that come along and they bring their kids along, and they will sit on the side. The odd time they'll have the iPad, but it's cool when batteries run out, or they put it to the side and they just start exploring the gym. Now, obviously, they've got to be careful because of health and safety and shit.
Just drop a weight on a kid. Damn.
Yeah, that's stuff. But
killed a kid.
It reminds me. So my dad was a teacher, and then he would also coach rowing and he'd coach rugby. So basically, school holidays would go with Dad to school, and he'd give us the gym key or open up the gym for us.
True.
And be like, right, see you at about 3. I don't know what time. When you're a kid, hours on end, and it's probably only been half an hour. But it's just kind of make your own fun. There's the sports cupboard.
That's a good way to just let them use their brains a bit better. Yeah.
And same with when he coached rowing, we had the choice to sit in the coaching boat, which is just
boring.
Mindless. You play with the water, or just hang around the rowing club. And so we'd play hide and seek, go on the rowing equipment, or go climb trees.
That's actually a good motivation. Is that why you asked? Do you let yourself get bored, and then you're like, I'm bored, so I actually want to do something? Yeah. And then that's actually quite smart. I haven't used that practice at all, but I could see myself implementing that.
That's why one of the reasons I like going bush.
True.
I can, you can often find reception out there, which is kind of
sure.
It's always tempting. So I try to just ignore the fact. That's a good thing about being on 2 degrees. Coverage is
they should put that in the advertising thing.
Yeah. Get lost in your thoughts. Yeah. Stop scrolling.
Stop using our internet.
No, but do you do any meditation?
A little bit. No, I like to think I do, and I don't.
You are. If you're thinking and doing, you are.
Well, I like to think I do it a lot, but I don't.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
If someone asks me, I'm like, I meditate, because I have done a lot of stints of meditation, but I haven't meditated this week, so I can't really say I do it. So, but I like meditation a lot, and it's very helpful for me.
So how do you go about it?
I just breathe.
Just
breathe. Sometimes if I've got something I want to focus on, I'll just repeat that word, do a bit of transcendental sort of thing. But when I like meditating as well if I'm running. So I'm just running, just nothing, and just breathing. If I'm trying to focus on something in my life, feel unbalanced, I'll be just breathing, breathe in, balance, breathe out, breathe in, balance. I'll just repeat the word and breathe in, and just this little, and you get your brain just starts decluttering, all the noise and stuff silences down, and you get into this nice place, and super important. But it's weird because if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have known I could actually reach that place. You know, I don't know what that place is, but once you do it, you're like, damn, I should do this all the time. But you still don't.
Yeah, where'd that idea come from when you were running?
I think it's compounded over listening to podcasts of people talk and different things, and me trying out, you know, certain, like I love Wim Hof, and I think was Tom Papa on Joe Rogan. He was talking about transcendental. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Tom Papa's a man.
He's a man.
I want to go to his bakery and try that bread.
Yeah, man, that'd be good.
Yeah. No, meditation's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I prefer to do Wim Hof breaths. Try getting like
some breathe, motherfucker. Get it in.
Let it go. Yeah. No, like, so
Dutchman.
Set my alarm and try get up on that first wake up.
Yeah, and straight into a meditation.
Straight into a Wim Hof round.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there's a good playlist on Spotify that's just got some buzzy sort of tracks,
sounds
tunes.
of nature and fuzzy meditation
like gongs
music.
Yeah. And try
peace with myself.
Try to do 4 rounds of that.
Yeah.
Try to get to that tingly blacking out spot.
That's a good spot to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't always happen.
No.
And
you mix that with the cold, it always happens, man.
Yeah, and then so I'll set another alarm and try to get through those 4 rounds, and then try and meditate into the other alarm.
Is that just 30 breaths? And then whatever.
So trying to do
just until you're tingling, and then you
try to do around about 30 breaths.
Yeah.
Then do the breath hold. Then
I'm keen to implement that.
Do a big in breath and hold for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then start the round again. So on the guided one that's on his Instagram, he talks about like that release and then not having any gap between when you breathe in again. So just what was he saying? Like just trying to really get that breath in, and then sometimes, but I don't know. I think it's sometimes I might be really tired in the morning, and so I'll stop breathing as well.
Yeah, that's dangerers.
Yeah,
because that's Shay's move as well. He when he wakes up, he meditates.
Yeah.
So
and then so that's 5:40, and then 6:25. Second alarm goes off, and then it's like,
Jesus.
Right, go jump in the cold shower.
Yeah.
I've had the urge to come out and earth again. So it's what I like when I first moved. Well, actually, when I was in Australia, I'd get up, do Wim Hof, go to the gym, come back, go to the beach, be on the sand and in the waves. It was freaking awesome. Which is going to get to what you guys. And then come inside, like Billy would wake up, would have breakfast, then I'd go off to work. So. Fuck, I'd been up.
That's a lot of time. Yeah. That's a lot of time every morning.
It was wicked. Yeah. It was like, I'd get to work and be like, right.
I'm upset. Yeah,
I've already done half of my day.
You guys are sluggish. I'm moving. I'm on a fast pace.
So then when I came over here, I'd like get up and I love it when I miss frosts. Yeah. And so I like it that it does get that sort of frosty level here, and just like get out.
That water's different in the winter.
Get out in your undies and feet on the ground. But tell us about the swimming in that beach that you're not supposed to swim in.
Well, I don't think there's any rules on it, but nobody swims in there. I'm always surprised.
It's frowned upon.
It's very dangerous. Lots of people die. But also, it's if you don't go in deep, you're not going to do any damage. I'm just anyway. So when we first moved into our new flat together, me and Jossie, we I was like, I'm keen to cold plunge. He's like, well, I'm going to do it if you're doing it. And I'm like, well, I'm doing it. He's like, well, we're doing it. So he's like, okay, we'll set the alarm and just go for it. And the first couple times it was good because it was kind of still spring, getting into, it wasn't too cold. And we're like, oh, we can do this every morning. And then, a few weeks in, I was like, this is different. Like, this is cold now. So we wake up in the morning, set our alarm. We live right next to the beach. I'll explain a bit better because I hopefully glossed over that. But so we wake up. We used to the move was light the fire, have a cup of coffee, and then head over to the beach and jump in. But now it's like, nah. This morning we were like, set the alarm, knock on the door. Whoever's up first, knock on the door. We run into the ocean and just first thing we do, jump in. And it is cold, but the the benefits is the same thing that I said when you're meditating, when you're running, that silence comes over and you're just like all of this like screaming as you're running to the beach, don't do it. Your body's like, no, and your mind's like, yes. And then you jump in, you're like, and then craziness all just calms down. Your body adjusts to the cold. You're like, this is not bad, you know. Then you have to get out, or else if you stay like a few minutes more longer, you're like, my toes stop working, the circulation's not going in. I'm starting to go pale. Jussie runs really hot. I run really cold naturally. So he's just like, this is warm. I'm like, nah, I'm out. So it's been an interesting process, but it's very hard to remember the why you're doing it when you're in the moment, you know, like all your brain's just telling you don't do it, but as soon as you do it, you realize the why. You're like, this is right. This is just to start my day so well. Get that circadian rhythm, get the sun and everything, just like, you know, because we just jump in our jockeys. We just run to the beach and just strip down and jump in. So
yeah, it's where you need a Rhonda Patrick in your ear every morning, being like, you know, if you wake up
cold shock proteins, and if you lock it in,
set your circadian clocks.
Yeah,
the study showed that body life increases longevity,
but it doesn't go into you don't hear it when you're in that state of in your bed. And one thing actually Seamus had said to me that I'm trying to implement, I did it this morning and it worked like a dream, is just when you wake up, get up.
Yeah,
and that's like, whoa, it's you know,
he influenced me when he said that, and I was like, that's true.
Yeah, wake up, get up, because as soon as you're up, you're not bothered by like, I don't even want to go back to bed, but when you're in bed, you're like, oh, it's so cozy, and then you can so easy. I mean, especially for me, like I'm my own boss, you know, so if I sleep through whatever, like nobody's telling me off, but I miss out on such a portion of my productivity for the day, you know.
Do you know Jocko Willink?
Yeah.
Discipline equals freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, get to remember that actually.
So that was what was really awesome about it. Like I said, Seamus influenced me. When I was training for the ultramarathon, I was getting up in the morning. Like there was a stage there where I was doing a half marathon before going to work.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, it was a weird thing to do. So before I started training, the longest run I'd done was a 12K around the bridges in Hamilton. And that was in like 2017. Yeah. And then I'd just been playing rugby, did some CrossFit when I was in Australia, and then came back over here and just kind of not really maintain, just keep fit, keep moving, so that when the next thing came along, I'd be ready to start training. And so, it was like, get up at 5 o'clock and go run. And then it finished, and one, I was broken. Yeah. But two, I didn't really have a thing to do anymore. Right. And so I'd still I still had my gym membership, so I'd still go have a sauna at lunchtime. I'd still go train after work. Yeah. But I could just feel myself sort of creeping out. And that was when
it's so easy to as well, because especially if you don't have those things in place, because I had the same thing over New Year's. So like right before New Year's, I was this disciplined person, sober, The New Year's hit, and I'm like, well, it's time to let loose and have a blowout and just no rules or whatever. Because I think those moments are good. But
I was about to say, it's good to have some seasons.
If you don't have a structure to fall back into place and reintegrate yourself back into reality after blowing out so handy, it's not good. You can lose your footing very easily.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And then, I was about the same. It was kind of like worked so hard for so long to do that run, and then it was like New Year's we went to 30th we went to Sub Focus, and that was just kind of like a little nice reward with the fellas. And then it went to Net Sky, and that was when I was sort of starting to notice. I was like, right, so I went to Net Sky. What am I doing? And then it was like another month, and then it was weird. I like basically made the decision that I was going to move closer to my daughter, and I was had like 3 months to go until I'm leaving, and it's like, right, well, need to freaking do something. And so then I joined CrossFit, and it's been awesome. Like, it fucking hurt when I started, but
yeah, I can imagine.
the first 2 weeks were rough.
Yeah.
In the second week we did a whole bunch.
It's weird how your body adjusts, though.
It's amazing.
It's like you're like convinced. You're like, no, there's no way that I'm gonna be okay after this. And then all of a sudden you're like, I feel fine today. I'm doing the same thing I was dying a few things ago. So yeah.
How much do you run?
Not enough. Same thing. I don't have any structure in place right now, which I'm actually putting in, you know. But at my peak running, I was just doing an hour a night, and I run slow, and I just go long distance, like to get in the flow state and just go. But well, not at night, but Monday to Thursday sort of thing. Which I'd like to get back to. I was at the gym for a while. I find it hard to be motivated for the gym. I'm more of a cardio sort of guy. I'm sure if I had a friend that was really into it, and then I'm like, oh, they keen to
gymming with friends is key.
And I think I'm gonna stick because Joe's just gotten into it. He's at Ocean Spa now. I'm like, I'm thinking I'm gonna buy a membership and just
go together.
Go with them, keep each other accountable, and it's a lot of benefits.
I'm on that train. There are people out there that be like, nah, it's easy. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely why I like CrossFit. It's good. It's good to have like different levels and like there's so many disciplines in it that some things you're just shit at and other things you're better at. And it's been funny. This gym we appear to do lots of like chin ups and pull ups and trying to do muscle ups and stuff. Not that I can do those, but like those movements are probably one of my downfall. And we've been doing lots of double under skipping, which again was like something I could do one of. Right. But now I've like under fatigue getting like runs of 20. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Yeah. It's a bit like you were saying with singing. Like, if you put in those work, you can get proficient.
Yeah. Same thing. I've been learning a little bit of jiu-jitsu.
Work it.
And well, MMA actually in general, but I really like the jiu-jitsu part. It's just one day a week, couple hours, and there's this guy, and it was a buzzy as thing. Cause my friend Charlie, he's like, oh, you should come to this like. He's like some sort of fighting thing. I'm like, oh yeah, you can. And because he was explaining it. Roll up to this hall in Bayview of all places. So there's like 5 people in there. But then the sensei, the teacher, he's like this proficient, like so like he's like showing us these like moves in his whole body. You can just see the whole. Because I love UFC, so I'm like I know when something's good. And he's like moving his hips into these things, and it's like whoa, and. It's weird to start to watch over the weeks that it's probably been doing it maybe, I don't know, 5 months now. And over the weeks you see the move and you can see it in your mind's eye, and then you're like, okay, I just need to do it with my body. But your hips and your legs are all out of place, and you're like, I cannot understand this. I'm doing the same movement, but I can't get that result, that power or anything. And then slowly, like, you just keep doing it, and then a click happens. You're like, oh, I can get my hip now. I can swing, boom. And then all the power comes in. It's like crazy. Yeah. And same thing like balance, jiu-jitsu, all these different things. This was such a foreign language, but now I'm understanding a few different words, a few different sentence structures, why they put this together and stuff. And it's the same thing with anything. Yeah. The more you learn, you're just like, obviously.
Do you know the concept of learning that you're unconsciously incompetent, you're consciously incompetent, then you're consciously competent, so you're getting it, but you're having to really think about it.
Interesting.
And then it's unconsciously competent, but it's more like subconsciously.
Subconsciously, because you're that's an interest. Yeah, I do. That is weird, but it rings very true. Yeah, it rings very true to me.
Yeah. You've read those books on working and implementing and finding the muse and stuff. Do you do any sort of development?
I have periods where I do. I think I'm very that gels well with my character. Like self-improvement always. And I did a lot of it because I lived in Thailand for a year before COVID hit. I actually came home because of that, and that was a big learning lesson because I thought like I just need to get away from all distractions, and then I'll be there and I can just do all these self-improvement things. I bought all these books, I was reading them, and I got there, and then just who you're around is your thing. And I would plan to do all this art, and this was part of the whole discipline thing where in hindsight I wasn't that undisciplined, but what I wanted to be, I was not doing what I wanted to be,
like a potential
thing, and not giving myself the I don't know, it felt like a fail, which in hindsight, big lesson for me. Like that got me so motivated to like, nah, I can't do that again. That was, and COVID was a big wake up call coming home. I'm like, what have you been doing? I'm like, and have nothing to show them. Like, oh, just
I was in Thailand.
I was been doing art. Like, what art? Like, heaps of paintings. I just threw them away. But that was a huge lesson. But that whole, and there's a weird side of that self-improvement thing where you can read it all, you can know it all, but if you don't do any of it, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
So I'm not wary about it. I think there's amazing truths in it and stuff, but simplifying it back to my own life. If I get too complicated, I get too lost in the thing, and then I feel bad about myself and inadequate.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I just focus on my life, keep it super simple, stick to my schedule. So yeah, I don't know. It comes back and forth, and it's the same with any sort of self-improvement thing. But yeah.
So what was the expectation of Thailand, and then what sort of played out?
I had this pipe dream in my head that I was gonna go overseas and become a famous artist and come back and be like, look at what I've done. And
Prodigal son, right?
I don't. Yeah, literally, man. Literally, the prodigal.
You went on a hero's journey. You went on a rite of passage, man.
I did, man, and it's weird, like to look at the those archetypes and be like, oh my god, I literally went through. There was the mentor, there was the thing, there was the person. And it was like, oh, that's so crazy, and it's all part of my journey. And I can see that now, and I can see like, okay, that was a really important part of my development, was to have that prodigal son sort of archetype. It's funny, I haven't actually heard someone say that, but I was like, yes, exactly that. But yeah, the expectation was just to do all these crazy bits of art and get recognized online, and then I can come back and be a full-time thing. And in a way, I've kind of made it happen, but not in the way I thought I was going to. It was coming back and then starting up a painting business, because I was like, well, I need to make some money now I'm back. Painting houses, and be like, well, I liked that lifestyle in Thailand. Like, I don't want to be painting houses. I'm like, I'm supposed to be, messing with the system here. So, and that's what happened with the 3 months. So with that 3 months, I keep bringing it up, that was actually a period where me and Jussie had decided, like, it's time to take action. So we got a studio space. We called it the dojo. And, so we'd go to the dojo every day and would train, would do work. And it would be like, there was respect, there was rules on the thing. If you came in the dojo, you had to bow, all these cool things that came with it. And where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought, lost my thread.
Just the reality versus that expectation.
Yeah, reality versus the expectation. Actually, yeah, that's right. So what I thought I was going to be doing, and then coming back and then being, okay, now I need to do something. So I saved up money with the painted a few houses, and then I was like, okay, now I've got this time. And it's weird because it is actually the same thing as Thailand, but I actually did something with my time this time, which is I don't know, I guess. Yeah. So
what did you do in Thailand?
Had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun, met a lot of really cool people, and I developed I learned who I was a lot of soul searching, went to find myself, quotation marks, real cheesy.
Eat, pray, love.
But man, goddamn, it's kind of like rings pretty true as well, quite cheesy, but also very true, And a lot of development socially. I think, because I spent so much time meeting new people and these new experiences, new places. My understanding of the world just opened right up, being like, New Zealand's not how. That's just how they live, but this is actually, this is another version of what humans can live like, and you start living their lifestyle. Because I lived really locally as well. My, luckily enough, my friend, his girlfriend, well, I didn't actually know him. I met him over there, but our mums knew each other, and I'm like, I need a place to stay. And he's like, his girlfriend was local, so got me the Thai prices, got me into this buzzy, just TikTok, like, it's not TikTok, buzzy street, just back streets, Jed Yod, Chiang Mai, like real, like there's 5 white guys on this thing, and it's all us guys from New Zealand, But it was such a fun time, and
I'm reading this book at the moment, and it sort of started off with the guy's father and mother, sort of must be in the 20s, 1920s, so 100 years ago, jeepers, and like they basically rode from Hawke's Bay on horseback over the ranges to Rangitikei, and
it's crazy.
set up and like mustered horses shepherded and fenced, and then they had this guy Willie, and he kind of grew up on the farm in station life, and then came over to Napier Boys and was good, but just didn't really apply himself. And so he went deer culling. That's how sort of got into the book. But he ends up in the military and ends up going to Vietnam War.
Oh, interesting.
And so it's just this really buzzy account of that experience. But my sister-in-law was Vietnamese, and her mum escaped from Vietnam, and
damn,
and it's just like
two perspectives.
But in the book, it does really acknowledge the
Vietnamese people,
and how this war that was going on between these two sides was literally just somebody's idea, and all these people were playing it out.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
And then there was people living there.
Yeah, I know as well. On top of that, there's
and because he's used to the New Zealand bush and stuff, and he's going through the jungle, and it's just being massacred by bulldozers or the Agent Orange stuff, and burning it all down.
Yeah, Forrest Gump.
I have been. That's the unfortunate thing of movies. I have been kind of thinking Forrest Gumpish. Reading this book,
but it's nothing like.
But I don't know. Forrest Gump kind of showed it. Pretty brutal. And
true.
Wet season, rain coming up from underneath.
Yeah, man.
Mud everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just been the book starts off with him being airlifted out from injury, and
it is weird how different the cultures are, and I mean the landscapes are different, but it's still just Earth. You know, you realize the moon's still here, the stars, it just feels like home. That's because I'm on the same planet. You know, but in your head you feel like you're in such a different universe because there's just so it's the culture that makes your brain shift so much. Yeah,
I've only had that briefly. I went to Bali for 3 days.
Aussie.
So
classic.
My ex, when she moved back to Christchurch, she was like, I've got tickets to Bali, and I was like, sweet. Well, I've got a conference in the Gold Coast at the end of that week. I'll come with you to Bali, and then I'll go to the Gold Coast. And that is exactly right. You're there. You just feel kind of transplanted. Yeah. Like I was in a tube of farts for 8 hours, and now I'm in the tropics.
That is so weird. Technology's gotten to the point where you just jump into this metal tube, and it just takes you a few hours, and you're just in a different place completely.
And what was also buzzy is you walk in, you're air conditioning, you're in this sort of sterile environment, you go through the customs, and then you're out, and then it's boom.
Yeah, the heat.
There's humidity.
Yeah.
And then
so I miss that, man.
We had a driver jacked up, and he just kind of picked us up. Hey, how's it going? You just jump in this dude's car, takes you through these winding roads. You have no fucking idea where you're going, what direction you're going, because it's dark. Yeah. And then you wake up in the morning, and you're in a bed in a house, but everyone around you is not what you're used to. Yeah. And then the smell of they just burn rubbish, and then they have their incense and offerings and all that sort of stuff. It's I'm around humans, but
it's different. Yeah, man.
People driving is different. The roads are different.
It's weird because everyone's still moving with purpose. Yeah, but it's that's not the same sort of purpose. You know, it's exactly you're obviously very focused on what you're doing, but it's not making sense to my brain. My brain wants to refute it. What are you? Yeah, you know. But that's just the way they live, and that's such an important lesson to learn. Yeah, and if you kind of stay. I mean, the internet's helping with that a lot. You know, you see a lot more than the generation before us. But if you hadn't traveled and seen another place, it's very easy to assume that the world's just like where you live. You know.
Yeah, and I feel. I think that the internet is helping. We do know that what we've got's not like everything else. No. And it's kind of like COVID right now.
Especially that.
It's kind of like, we're kind of carrying on.
We mention COVID maybe once a day. Some days. It doesn't come up all the time here. It's because we're living in the best, literally in the most protected place in the world of COVID. And that's crazy. And how easy to not even think about that in the sense we don't even talk about it. But everyone else in the world, it's like a huge big thing.
Yeah, so I'd
Daily.
sometimes listen to Peter Attia, and the other day he had, so it was really good actually. A couple of years ago, I'd watched the movie Vaxxed just to be like, what's this? What is? Why do so many people believe this? What is this about? And I watched it, and I was kind of like, yeah, I see their arguments; they're quite convincing, but I also see the flaws in it. But then I didn't have enough education to be like explain to someone why it was flawed.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there must be something more to this. I know it's flawed. A lot of what they said to me didn't make sense. Gel and make sense, and was kind of iffy. And then there's a book about it, and Peter Attia interviewed the guy, and they kind of explain what the fraud was, and I was just like, and it was good because they used in the fraud they used the PCR, and that was what was quite good about this podcast. It's like, well, everyone now knows what PCR is, and they talk about how many runs it takes to sort of show that the thing is there. So if you've got something there, then you only do a couple of runs, and then you'll have plenty of that protein show up. Yeah. But in sort of when you get to a certain amount of runs, you run out of raw materials, basically.
Right, that makes sense.
And you get kind of iffy results, and you can kind of find whatever you wanted, but it's not valid. Yeah. And so in this data, they kind of did lots of runs and found what they were looking for. And they were also supposed to sort of...
It's weird when someone has an agenda.
Oh, that was what it was.
And they're just looking for any sort of truth. Because the truth is always a big thing. But then they find that little slice of the pie that's like, yep, this suits my thing. Look at there. There's the truth here. And that's with everything, That is, and I find that with myself as well. Like when I'm trying to prove a point, I'm like, look at this, and then someone's like, no, look at this big thing, Like, damn it, I did the thing I'm trying to
did the Dunning-Kruger thing.
Damn. Yeah. And I think that's with everything in the sense of like Vax or anything people are trying to freak out about. It's usually it's very, I don't recommend having strong opinions, and that's coming from a 21 like guy. I'm not trying to be wise here, but I'm not trying to recommend anything. I mean, but
strong opinions loosely held. That's
strong. That's a good one.
That's another thing that
strong opinions loosely
Peter
held.
Attia. I think
I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar.
Yeah, so he's into longevity.
Okay.
He's quite inspired by Richard Feynman, and that's where I think the strong opinions loosely held comes from.
Right, that's a good one.
Richard Feynman was a physicist and mathematician. I think he's won a couple of Nobel Prizes, and he did the sort of theory behind the Manhattan Project. So, it's a bit dubious. Do you know what the Manhattan Project is?
No,
so that's the atomic bomb for Nagasaki, and what was the other place? The two places in Japan. My history's
Hiroshima? No.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Probably got that wrong too.
Something like that. Yeah. Let's talk about things we don't know about.
Yeah, well,
that's half of what it is.
Half educated, third-hand opinion.
Something. Just parrots, say.
Yeah, you right. But then he had old Peter Ortiz on, and because Peter's daughter's autistic as well, and he's quite of the opinion that the vaccine has nothing to do with it and all that sort of stuff. So he's used to having that argument. Yeah. And that was exactly how I felt. Like I was like, I can't have this argument. I don't know enough. But that dude fucking knows. And of course, then they're talking about the COVID vaccines and all the sort of progression and the trials and tribulations of it and what's going on and what the data is actually showing. You're just like, oh my God, this thing again. You're like, man, in New Zealand, we're just kind of like, oh yeah, we've got some vaccines. We're just rolling it out. Just whatever. We'll treat the people that not matter, but most at risk first.
Yeah.
Go for it.
It's a weird thing, It's weird to, I think a lot of the conspiracies, a lot of why people are worried is that they're going to be forced to take something, which it should just be.
It's like freedoms.
Should be, you're right to. I'll take another one.
Yeah.
These are very nice little pilsners.
Yeah.
Which I hopped. 100%.
That was so. With work, there was sort of talk that we might be classed as primary healthcare, and we have ended up being. So I've had my first jab.
Oh, yep.
And
do you feel the?
Yeah, I was always joking. I was like, I haven't grown a bat out of my arm just yet. I was like, but there's still time. And when I was at my mate's place for Easter, we're having that discussion, and they're like, "Are you going to get it?" And I was like, "Well, I'm in that round.
Yeah.
I'd be stupid not to. And they're like, oh, I can't believe you put that in your body. I'm like,
don't you know that they're trying to manipulate your mind?
Yeah.
5 years from now, you're gonna drop.
could do.
Yeah,
it could.
The thing is, possible. Yeah, but also I could get hit by a bus, and I could have a lot of these other fears that you'd. And that's part of it is conspiracies, as you're living in a fear-based mindset, you know. But also, you have to be somewhat skeptical about things.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And
I'm definitely not going to be the first person to get a jab, but also
you're not.
No.
But
also, if
I'm not.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
Yeah. But it hasn't been that long, so.
No, it hasn't. You know,
say,
and
5 years and stuff.
And if everyone's got one, then I don't need one. That's okay. But if I need one to survive, then I'll take one as well. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna line up for it and be like, need one right now.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I was like, if I'm in the third round, I'm not gonna be. You know, there's more people. There's people that it could
actually need it.
Yeah, could have a larger effect on and could be more predictive than me. I'm probably, I'm in that very high 99.99% possibility. My metabolism's good.
And that's
I'm fit. I'm young.
It doesn't seem to do too much damage,
Mostly, yeah.
Considering how much of a worldwide pandemic and thought has been put into this, and so much stress and worry, a lot of people survive when they get it. You know, and that's not people don't like to bring that up, but also what's the survival rate's 90%. Or even higher than 90%.
Stop listening. Like New Zealand, I'm just like, stop listening.
Yeah,
because you're right. Cause
it's true. It's true though. I'm not trying to push an agenda. I'm literally just saying, a lot of people that get it, if they're healthy, survive.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's weird, man. It's. I mean, politics is a big part of everything. You know, especially when you become a worldwide pandemic. But what the people want, usually they'll get. And if the mobs want, most people smiling at me. Okay, I'm not trying to push an agenda or anything. I'm just seeing what I see. But
I'm with you on this.
If people are scared and they want to lock it down, that's what the government is going to do. And especially if big governments do it, then the little governments are going to be like, yeah, we're following suit here.
Yeah. It's
also, I don't know, and I'm not educated in no information. I'm just kind of like,
it's how you see it.
Yeah, it's how I see it.
It's how I see it.
Yeah,
it's it was. I've been trying to have like empathy for it, like, because
that's a big
It's the politicians kind of didn't expect to be running that sort of show. Like they're in, like, I kind of find politics a bit of a show anyway.
Yeah,
and that wasn't the show they were signing up for.
Definitely not, man.
Like, your decisions could impact a lot of
people, a lot of lives, and
especially early on. It was just like, this could.
Yeah, this could. We were very lucky that, for the one that we locked down and we don't have COVID in New Zealand, to a degree of, maybe there's a few people don't that might have it out there, but it's not spreading or anything. But compared to the world, but secondly, just that it's not actually as deadly as we didn't know how bad it would have been. That's why I left Thailand, was because if I knew it in hindsight, I probably wouldn't have left. I probably would have. But personally, for my life, that was the best decision, was to come back. So because I got into my thing, but we're very lucky because when it was going down, I thought I thought like half the planet was gonna die. I'm like, I need to get home. It was a weird trip, man. Because I got in right before lockdown. Like, as the day lockdown happened, I got home, and I was in the airport in Singapore, and holding onto my ticket, got through the gate. Every single flight on the board that you've seen, all the flights, cancelled. There's my one, boarding, and then they go cancel. Literally my flight, and I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we're just like, let's get on this damn plane. We get on the plane, like, oh my god, now we can relax.
Even then, like, how long till doors were closed? Captain was like, we're taxiing off.
Exactly, man. Considering every other flight was cancelled, because we bought maybe 6 flights that all got cancelled. It was just trying to get one, and it was the one my mum bought for us. She was like, get Singapore Airlines, because it was through Air New Zealand, and somehow we got in. It was like just the biggest relief just to get home, man.
And then what happened?
Jussie drove up and picked us up from the airport. He's a good man, Jussie, man. He's put me out of some situations, bro.
And so what, you got him before mandatory?
So I got in. He was going to quarantine with us. So he was like, I'll risk my life, whatever.
You
see
give
my
me
COVID. Yeah, he's a real G. He's one of the real brothers. But he drove down. So he picked us up from the airport. And he drove us back to Napier. And we were going to quarantine. And my parents, they have a sleep out at their house. So like we're just going to stay out there and just see them from a distance. Although, like, as soon as my mum saw me, she ran and gave me a big hug. I'm like, we're not supposed to be doing this. She's like, I'm quarantining with you now. Like, and then
we're a bubble.
And Dad's like, well, if you hug him, I can't not hug him. So big family hugs. And then we're like, I guess we're a bubble now. We can't leave. And then lockdown happened that day. So we're like, on that, literally, when we got there, it was like 48 hours. Lockdown happened. So we're like, oh, perfect. So didn't have to worry.
We are a bubble.
We're a damn bubble now. Because we've been through a few different airports to get here. And we definitely could have had it, but luckily enough, now we're sweet.
You won't have had a test, eh?
No, I haven't had a test. No. But none of us got any symptoms or anything, so who knows?
Yeah,
might have got it on my skin, but
where's an antibody test for
the antibodies?
So you've still got them. That's a long time.
Although, you might not even get the antibodies. It might not even pass through the system. Your body didn't fight it. But
no, buzzy.
It's good to be home.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So like. How does that sort of not acting out of fear?
Spill my drink on me. That's it.
Yeah. How does that not acting out of fear or from a fear place show up elsewhere? Like that's a good insight.
Good way to live. It's shows up in a lot of things. I was thinking about this thing the other day. I can't put my finger on it right now, but it comes in all different aspects. Do you have one on your mind, or
no? I try and not. Like literally, when you said that, I was like, that's
it's a fair mindset, And
I hate this thing. That's my truth.
Yeah, bro. Speak your truth, bro. I feel it, bro. Cheesy but good. Yeah. I think it's a good way to live, and it's probably more important in the small things. Mm-hmm. Because the small things are the big things, you know how it goes. But I think, what was it? I can't remember. I actually had it would be a perfect point for that. I don't have it on my brain right now, so we'll just let that one go. Might come back, but
but like that's kind of how I think about the culture thing. Like that's one facing your fear or reluctance each day is like for me all it needs to be is turn the shower on and be in it.
Yeah, and the more you can simplify that is the better.
You still go,
oh my god! And I find it much harder to have a cold shower than a cold plunge in the ocean, because when I walk to the ocean, there's no hot tap or I'm already there. It's like it's all just like, okay, I just have to jump in, then I can leave.
Yeah.
But when the cold shower, like, that train doesn't last long for me. Yeah.
Have you been into
some real discipline?
Have you been into Marae Kakoi? No, Marae Totara.
Yes, Totara Falls. Yeah, beautiful place.
I had a good breath session there.
Recently?
When was that? Was it about August last year?
Okay.
Yeah. I biked out there.
Oh, that's a nice. Oh yeah, ultra guy. Are you into Rich Roll at all?
No.
He does.
Not against Rich Roll, but just not following Rich Roll.
No, yeah.
He's vegan too, eh? Is that right?
Yeah, he's vegan, plant based. I think he doesn't do it bad. He's not pushing any.
No, that's what I mean. Much, like Rich Roll's like the perfect example.
Exactly, he's a healthy vegan.
Yeah. He's a killer.
Wow, yeah, he's a killer, man. Ultra marathon, but yeah, I guess I'm not getting into diet. Everything works out well for everyone else,
Yeah.
Whatever works well for you, just go for it. But so you went to my Totara and had a breath session.
Had a breath session, did like 5 rounds, and did the old. Oh, woke up. That's right. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm by the waterfall. The waterfall disappeared.
That's beautiful.
And then you jump in. That's got a good temperature.
Especially in August. That's a
it was,
and nobody would be there either, right? Was there a few?
It was, Hawke's Bay. Just gets his sunny patches.
Yeah, true. Oh, so it was a nice day.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, right.
It might have been September, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It was a really nice day. And,
that place gets packed. I remember when I was maybe, 15 or something, it was like you could go there and it might be you guys there and a couple other people.
Yeah.
But then maybe that'd just been a random day as well. Maybe it's just my projection on the place, but you go now and it's just always...
Maybe you're there on a school day.
Maybe. Yeah.
Did you like school?
I like the idea of skill. I think I don't know. It was I enjoyed my time at Skill, but also I didn't really go to Skill much. My mum was she was really awesome in the fact she kind of just let me be, she supported my art and stuff. So towards the end of my school thing, I had 3 subjects. On my last year, I did 3 subjects, and it was painting, design, and sculpture. And I think my attendance was like 25%. Like I was not going. So considering, but I passed everything, and I nailed it. I could have went to uni and all that, but I think I'm a very independent sort of guy.
Yeah. And
just naturally, like since high school I had a few cafe jobs, but I've just been working for myself since then. And the idea of going to university to get a degree for a job to work for someone, it's like I don't like this path whatsoever. I'd rather spend the time and try and figure it out myself. And even if I don't manage to do that, at least I gave it a try, So, yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes have this sort of parallel life thing where I didn't, as a 12-year-old, go, optometry.
Yeah, if your mum was like dropped you at your grandma's or something that day, you wouldn't have had
it. Or like stay in the car.
Yeah, stay in the car. Literally just stay in the car.
Yeah, we're going to be half an hour.
That's a weird little
stay in the car.
Small things, just big trajectory.
And even like so yeah, I sometimes wonder if I hadn't gone to uni and I had to figure this life out, what would it look like? And then even when I didn't get into optometry from first year, went to Dunedin and did science. Mm-hmm. And I was in this weird place after getting the bachelor's, and it's like, right, so I could get into optometry, I could carry on and get into honours or masters. Is that how it worked? I can't remember. Anyway, I think that's right.
Yeah.
You were either in honours and you could go honours to PhD.
I wouldn't know.
Or you could do 2 years and do masters, or you could do postgrad. But anyway, it didn't matter. And I was like looking at it like, oh, that seems like a path to nowhere. Interesting, like fascinating, but a path to nowhere. Or I could go home to Invercargill, start a building apprenticeship, and play rugby.
Yeah, true.
And I'm like, man, I wonder what I would have been like as one. Would I have been like as a builder?
Yeah.
Like
another as a rugby player.
Another as a rugby player. Yeah. Like, would I be like one of these people that owns a building company and builds hundreds of houses in Queenstown? Like it's leveraged to the hilt, but. But
you also could have been a tradie that just shows up and is a handyman somewhere.
It could be some sort of property development.
Yeah, I think though, like it's weird. At least I like to think of myself like, because I see I try to get the most out of my life. I'm like, okay, well, if I apply myself to this, I'll do really well. So whatever I ended up in, but also that might just be a circumstance that I apply myself to my art, not to if I had tried something else.
Hard out.
It's a weird little.
And that's the thing that I think about. It's like
determinism.
Yeah,
get into that, man.
Yeah. So I think about like, okay, so I've been able to do this stuff with optometry. I've been able to get through it. Been able to do it. I've played rugby and put everything I can into that. Been able to sort of play sevens and nearly represented Southland and nearly represented Canterbury, but was in those squads.
Nice.
And like it's like, so if I can apply myself to stuff, I can achieve some stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, so would I have had that mindset with building?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know.
It's like, do I like say, would I have just been a tradie?
Yeah.
Or like, would I have been pushing? And I think I would have been pushing, but you never know.
That's literally my thought is like, you would expect yourself to, knowing what you know now, but also that path may have led you into being less, ambitious about things.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you were saying about what you expected of Thailand versus what happened in Thailand.
Oh my God.
But then on the big picture, it was
the perfect, like, it was so much being stagnant that it throw me into this new sort of like discipline. Like, you know, I wasn't even expecting myself to be that disciplined in Thailand, but now that I am that disciplined, it's like it's all been worth it, you know. So it's, yeah, I don't know.
Do you find yourself getting caught up in fear? Yeah.
Painting's hard, man.
I bet.
Painting pictures, faces, because I'm a portrait artist. That's what I like to do, but I avoid it a lot as well. You know, like I heard this quote on a podcast. This dude David Cho, he's a painter, and he's like, "There's painters that paint, and there's painters that don't paint." And I hadn't paint, and he was like, "I I want to paint most days, you know, but sometimes it's like, oh, I haven't painted in 2 weeks." And in the moment I was listening to that, I was like, I haven't painted in like 4 months, and my headphones were, and I was painting this house at the time, so I was like, fuck, I was painting, but this is getting confusing. But
you're painting a house, not a piece.
No, and I got like a moment of like, damn it, I'm a painter that doesn't paint. I need to paint. So much paint going around here, so it might be confusing. But there's a lot of artists that are artists or say they're artists and think and identify as artists that don't actually do art, and it's a weird thing, because even myself right now, I'm back into the rhythm of things and I'm doing it, and I see that for my future, and I want this to be my everyday till the day I die. I just want to wake up and do art till I die. But you have these moments where you catch yourself and you're like, I haven't done anything in 2 weeks. How do you even say you're an artist if you haven't done art? You know, I'm a painter that doesn't paint. There's painters that paint, there's painters that don't paint. Right now I'm a painter that paints, you know, and I want to keep that locked in forever is my goal.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so then where does the hip hop fit in? Like,
it's pretty 50-50 these days. The way I schedule my day is I wake up, go for the cold plunge, we'll have a coffee, and then I'll jump into the dojo at 8 o'clock, because we have a new dojo at the place we moved into. We're like, that's what I've been doing for the last couple months, is just been building that dojo, getting it all ready. So that, you know, excuse to not do art, but also needed a place to create art. So
yeah,
I'm probably beating myself up on that one. But so I wake up, cold plunge, 8 o'clock in the dojo. Dojo painting till 12, and whatever happens in that period is up to. I don't feel bad about it. I don't prep. I don't think about it at all. Just whatever. I try and go into a flow state, get as much done as possible for whatever project I'm working on. And if I don't achieve what I wanted to achieve, I don't feel bad about myself. I just attempt. And if I don't attempt, then I do feel bad about myself. But I always attempt. And so that's till 12. Then I have lunch, have a game of chess with my bro Jussie, or we'll have a coffee, have a little bit of a yarn till 1 o'clock, and that's our break for the day. And then I jump into the studio inside, and I've set up this nice new studio. So and then I work on music till 5. So 4 hours there, 4 hours aside, and that's how I split it in my brain as well. A different place, go into the studio, and I'm either writing, recording, mixing, mastering, you know, just any sort of process that involves music. And yeah, I mean that's the structure for it to then anything I make, I'm just trying to push out. But then, you know, you throw another curveball. There's so many curveballs in this game, man. Like, marketing is a huge thing that, like, I'm starting to put time aside. So I'm doing Monday to Thursday like that. And then Friday I want to spend on just marketing, creating the content from the weeks, you know, because I'm filming all my painting and, you know, recording, trying to do some music videos and stuff. But then it's like, oh, now I've got this really cool product and nobody's going to see it. You know, I want people to see it. But then also, like, that's such a different mind than the one I used to create. So I need to switch and be this kind of bit more of a businessman. And maybe I don't actually like that. And that's where I would love to outsource and get people, you know, to come and be part of the team and do that. But also I'm not at that stage, you know, control the controllables. I have to do this myself right now. I need to figure out how to do it until I'm at the stage where I'm making enough income where I can bring someone in, and then I can be solely focused just on creating, because that is the goal.
I mean,
Yeah, but it's split pretty 50-50. Long-winded answer there.
love it. Who does your tracks? Do you do the backing?
The producing of the beats?
Yeah.
Nah, so I'm musically retarded at the moment. I'm getting better. I'm acquiring these skills. But I actually have started producing, which has been a fun thing. And like singing, didn't realize, I always thought I'd be really terrible at it, but actually been spending so much time making music that actually I do have a bit of an ear for this stuff.
I'm fascinated. That's
very interesting.
As we were been wasting some time on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
D&B producers and samplers and all that sort of stuff, and how they make tracks and stuff. I'm like,
super interesting.
So cool. I'm super tempted. Again, it's one of those like would like to things, all the things.
Yeah.
To download Dead Mouse's masterclass.
That would be very interesting. I saw that advertised as well.
Yeah, I'm like, I love Dead Mouse. And he's like sitting in there, just like
in
massive
empire of a studio.
And you're like, what the fuck is all that stuff?
Yeah.
But yeah, and he's like, I can show you how to make tracks on your laptop. And you're like, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would, yeah, exactly right.
But like I said, all the things.
All the things, you know, like think about even just like a language or...
Yeah, I'm trying to do Italian.
Exactly right. It's like this.
I haven't done that today. Shit.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So many things to do.
Yeah. No, because like there's one of your tracks, and I was like, "Fuck, that's an oboe." Mean.
Yeah, which one was that?
I can't remember the name.
Nah.
But, and then the drums, and is it this vibe or
I have no idea.
feel this?
Oh,
vibe?
Feel the Vibe.
Yeah. The drums on that are insane.
Yeah, they're nuts.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to even listen to that music that I put out then because I recorded all myself, you know, the voices and stuff, and I hear it back now because I've actually gained some skill in mixing my vocals and stuff, and I've actually gotten decently like industry standard, or at least, you know, in my own head, I'm definitely a lot better.
Yeah.
And when I hear that now, it kills me, man. It kills me. It's hard to listen to.
Well, it's probably good. Like,
yeah, it's a good thing, but also like, if people are listening to it, I'm like, I'm sorry.
Nah, don't be sorry, man.
They don't notice. I notice. Yeah, it's one of those things.
That's right. Well, that's like you're talking with Cam, like trying to get this shit set up.
Yeah.
And like I said with Joe, the moment I turned it on, I was like, fuck, what happened?
Yeah.
Because we had this conversation like this,
Yeah.
listening to each other, and then I turned it on, and I was like, where the hell did his mic go?
Yeah.
And then Cam's like, I didn't even notice. I was like, fuck, I noticed.
Yeah.
I was like, the moment, I was like, it might have been because I was in my car or what, but
Yeah.
I'd had this, 2 hours talking to him, like tuned in, dialed in,
Yeah.
beautiful sound, and then turned it on. I was like, this is shit.
It's so painful.
I was like, yeah. No, but yeah, it's all part of the fun and like part of being
Part
better.
of the learning process, yeah. Acquiring these skills.
Yeah, and you're like, talk to sound engineers, or you're like, look at what they're doing. And you're just like, what are you even looking at?
It goes so deep. And like you see, like, you know, someone like Joe, he's on another level compared to me. You know, I've learned a lot in the last year or so. The last 2 years, I was just trying to figure it out myself. But then in the last year, I'm like, I'm actually starting to find a bit of a sound. And he was there maybe a couple of years ago. He's at my level, you know, and then he's even just gotten onto some next level stuff now. But then you compare him to one of those sound engineers. It's like, what else are you doing? Like, how is there anything else to do? Because it's already so complicated, but then they're on some next level, you know, plug-in compressors that are just playing with some knobs that, like, there's no way I can even tell the difference.
Yeah.
But that's what they study for, and that's their passion, you know? It's just real cool.
And Joe was talking to a comedian the other day that also does music, and they were kind of talking about synthesizer sounds versus true sounds, and like, and this guy was even going into like the different types of pianos and like the different sound that comes out of different types of pianos. He was like, it's more like a ding versus a
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, it's like going for a jiu-jitsu wrestle before you've ever learned anything. You're like, I don't speak this language. I do not speak this
You
language.
just fucked me up.
Yeah, straight up. You're just maneuvering my body in ways I
Yeah.
can't even. I have no control here.
And so, how are you finding the vibe of collaborating with a crew of people now?
So awesome, man. It's and yeah, like having the Sons boys, having just. I mean, I've always collabed and stuff, you know, but like now it's like there's no excuse not to. Yeah, it's really cool, and it's. I think the camaraderie is the most beautiful part of it, because before I'd do a show, and it was kind of I do the show, and then I get all this, kind of attention on me, and it's like, there's some fear in that as well. But now I have no fear when I go on stage, because I'm with my boys. We're giving this crowd, we're gonna give it all to them, and it's PNC was a cool night for that reason, like going down to Palmerston North as a team, and then showing up and giving our best performance we've given, and just blowing it out the park. And then like afterwards, like just the bond you create and the connection you make with those boys on stage is just, it's next level. And you definitely don't get that performing alone. So I would recommend it, actually. I wouldn't have wanted it before because my ego would have been like, no, but I want all the limelight,
Yeah,
but now I'm like, this is a way better feeling. This is a way better feeling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. And the Freestyle Thursdays, just
that's awesome as well.
That was funny when you're talking about like the marketing thing. It's like, that is the beautiful thing about that. It's just like, we're showing up every week. Yeah, we're putting in work. I think I've heard on a couple of your songs there's 10,000 hours. Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's like you're doing that. Yeah, and at the same time you're doing some content. Yeah,
it works. It's and it's also hanging. Yeah, I think it's better than hanging. It's I notice that with the boys, because we meet up every Tuesday, and we do a little Suns meeting, and it started just with like freestyling, but now we're like, and then a couple of them we were just hanging, yarning and stuff. I'm like, why are we meeting up if we're not doing anything? Because we're gonna hang out anyway. So we'd like to meet up, write a few tasks down, and write what we want to do for the week or whatever, and where we want to take the Suns. Because it's cool, because it's a collective of us, but we're also focusing firstly on our solo careers, so we're all doing our own thing, but we come together as a team. And it's nice to know, like, I had a gig for the people running the marathon on Saturday. So that day, Hannah was like, "Oh, do you want to do this thing? It's from 8:30 till 3:30 rapping." And I'm like, 7 hours, or whatever it was, 8 o'clock till 3. It was a lot of hours rapping, and if I had done that by myself, it would have been so like just time consuming, boring, like so.
So you did that and then went to Lanterns and painted.
It was a long day. It was a long
man.
day, but
it's awesome.
That's the hustle, man. It was like after I did, because I had Camsy. I was like, "Camsy, you got to join me. We'll split it halfway." And he's like, "Fuck yeah!" And we met up, just sat on a desk like this next to each other, just while people were running. We're like freestyling, just having fun, yarning, and it just made the day fly by. It was like, this is doable. If I'm by yourself, it's just something else. But that was a day, man. I was, because you go through days. Probably you for yourself, you're a bit older, so it probably happens less. But for me, there's days that I can feel quite lethargic and not disciplined, and I kind of mellow around, and you just like, what do you not very productive days. Yeah. And those days versus a day where you're like, you got up in the morning, you rapped all day, and then you went out and you worked all night painting, and then afterwards you're back home and you're like, you're with your boys, and you're like, fuck yeah, I've been working all day, but that feeling is so much better, and like just more rewarding and everything, and just like the mindset is just so different. It's so weird because they're polarizing, very polarizing, because you when you're in that sort of lethargic mind state, you're just like, oh, what's the point in anything? I just want to lie down and just be but then once you see that and you really take that in and be conscious of it and being like, no, this is a way to live, and that's a way to live. I'm going to choose that, because at the end of the day, there's a choice, and you give into your things. At least I find for myself, it's a choice.
How good would it be to bottle away? Like, be like, remember that day? Yeah. That's what we're doing this for. Yeah. That day.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like being able to do that, like you say,
every day.
I'm a painter that's painting houses, but I want to be a painter that's painting art and doing work. And man. Painting someone's house is a bloody gift, man.
It sure is a gift, but it's definitely it's less rewarding. It's a good way. Yeah, it's been really helpful for me to be able to still work for myself, still make money, and not be too lost, because I'm still like writing in my lunch break and thinking about some beats, and my head, I'm not like talking to anyone through the day, so I'm just by myself. I'm just a one man team, so I can just kind of like, my thoughts are still very art related, and it's a very meditative process painting houses. It's you get into the flow of things, and then the day's over, and you're like, cool. You don't feel too drained. I can imagine like it's not very physically demanding either, so you can kind of get away with doing a lot of things. But it's very nice to have stopped doing that now, and I am a full-time artist for the rest of the year, until my money runs out. But my goal is to be making enough to survive by that when that money does run out, I'm actually making money off my art, and I can just do this full time until because the thing with the normal job is that there's always a ceiling. You're probably making more at the start, but then you can't grow as much. But with this, you're making small pennies. You're chasing those pennies, but the scalability is just to the moon, man. To the moon. And and that's what makes it all like worth it. But also not focusing on that, and just being like, if this is all I get, this like, if I can make $300 a week just to cover all my expenses, my rent, food, and Wi-Fi, and then if I can do that, I'm gonna be happy for the rest of my life. It'll be probably different if I want to have kids. Then I would want to be financially comfortable, but I'm not thinking about that because I got another 10 years or so.
So did you hear Rogan saying the other day, like him and Duncan Trussell? No, someone else. It might have been Red.
Yeah, when
they started out, being like, how good would it be a comedian that can pay his bills?
Yeah, exactly right.
And like, look at them now.
Yeah,
it's just like
the scalability.
Yeah, that's right. It's like especially that's the awesome thing about passions is like I say on Saturday, like what a day. Like that's a lot of work, but
but also
it was not work.
It's not work, man.
Like it was energy, but
it's not what people perceive as work. It was. If I didn't get paid from those things, I would have still done them, and I wouldn't tell the people that are paying me that, but also the opportunity in themselves, like to play in front of people running past and being like, you can do it, run, mother. Like, I don't actually, there was no swearing. And for Cam Z, because he's always such a sexual, when he's rapping, man, he's always just like, I want to fucking dance. And I'm like, bro, there's just 2 rules, like no swearing and no sexual shit. He's like, it's going to be hard, but I can do it.
I did ask him a flatmate. It's like, did you see some guys rapping around like 40th? He's like, oh yeah. They're like, said your name. It was such a good boost.
When we saw their name on the thing, we're like, hey, Ron, you can do it.
Hey, Ron.
Like, yeah, James, what a name. Keep on running. It's the aim of the game. It was like real cheesy raps as well. Like, we're just having fun with it. But that was what's cool because there was no expectations.
He loved it. And that's the beautiful thing about something like that. It's just, those sort of, 20 seconds that they're going by, and it's different for every single person. Like, it's just like quick, fast skit stuff for you. But I keep you on your toes. So you said you got like a manager now. What's the music landscape like at the moment here? It's booking and trying to do shows, and
I think I wouldn't be a good representation of what an artist is trying to do and as a musician in Hawke's Bay or New Zealand, because I'm kind of coming from a weird angle. I'm like, because I actually don't want to I'm not seeking out any gigs. I completely, and it makes it easy for my manager, but she also does a lot of work with a lot of other people, so she's not too focused on me, and I don't have any expectations from her. But if a gig pops up and then she's like, do you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. But also, like, I don't want to or need to, in the sense of, I mean, maybe when I want to make money, but I would rather make money off my paintings and then do my music as more of a passion thing and just be a recording artist. I don't see myself touring. Like a lot of rappers also like don't have I got painting, and I want that to be my main focus and income, and then I don't have to go, because touring, man, takes up a lot of time. Imagine all the songs you could have made in that time. I'd rather think of it like that and just record, and then if a festival comes up, and then be able to do these shows. And I love performing. I do love performing, but
So is the journey to Spotify straightforward?
No. It's, I mean, it is to upload it. You just, find a distributor. You just search up online, Spotify distributor, and they're like, yeah, cool, $10, you can upload whatever you want. And you're like, oh, cool. But to get recognized, and there's just so much good music out there. That's all you hear is just, this song is awesome as well. How many plays? 100 plays? Like, there's millions of those people, But there's also, millions of people that have millions of plays. So it could be you as well, So I haven't had major success. I've had a few bumps through a couple of years of doing this where, like, I got 10,000 plays. 17,000 plays. Awesome. And on a couple of different things. And those are awesome moments, but it's still very local, and I don't know. I don't think there is a recipe that makes, like, if you follow these things, this will happen. I think the biggest recipe is probably just having patience, doing good work, and being consistent.
Yeah,
that's probably that all you need to follow, and then over time you probably will.
Preparation meeting opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you're not fucking working, you're not preparing, well, then
exactly. Yeah. If you don't have the goods, then you can't sell it.
Opportunity comes up, and you're left wanting, miss it. That's all you need, missing it. You only get one shot.
One opportunity.
Yeah. It's funny, like you're saying about rappers singing at the gym. They play that "Lose Yourself."
Oh yeah.
But then yesterday, for some reason, Willie Wilder's song came on. Like, what's it called? Just That. And then, because he puts Vince Harder on that song, singing the chorus, and then he comes and he's like, I'm just going to come in on this one, Vince. so I said, la, 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 la.
Yeah. I suppose you say Vince Harder. Actually, I was doing, do you know what that show was, Pop Stars? It was on TV. So I was in that. I auditioned and stuff, and I met Vince because they liked my profile online, so they like came to Napier and brought Vince to Napier and did this whole segment in the dojo at the time, which was a really cool experience. And flew me to a thing and got to meet all Kimber and all of them and stuff. Yeah. And then they asked me, and I was like, oh.
So how did it all go?
It was cool, man. So
did you do? So how did the audition process work?
So you applied online, and they invite you to the audition, and got invited to the audition, and it was you could pick Wellington, Christchurch, or Auckland. So I was like, go see my brother, go to Wellington, and went there. It was such from every moment part of it. It was just awesome. It was just a cool time, amazing. I met so many cool, amazing, talented musicians there, which was like the best part of it. And a real cool sort of, like, I wouldn't say a loophole I had versus everyone. Everyone was so nervous when they were there. Mm-hmm. I was chill as a cucumber because everyone was singing and comparing the singing, and I was rapping. So like everyone was like, "Oh, what kind of style do you sing?" I'm like, "No, I don't sing." They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I rap." And they're like, "Oh, you're lucky." So I went through the audition and I just rapped my thing, and they loved it. 3 years as you get the golden ticket, go to Hollywood, sort of thing. I'm like, oh yeah, this is all happening. Like,
we was Hollywood,
Auckland. Go to Parachute Studios. But no, it was a cool thing. And then they flew me to Auckland and put me up in a hotel for a few nights, and went to, like, the callbacks sort of thing, and that's where I didn't make it through. But it was a really cool experience to be a part of. It's weird though, like TV, man. It's not real. It's not real, man. It's really weird. Like I'm fine being filmed and stuff. It's fine. I can assume the character, and if I was, in the show, like, I would have played the game. But it is a bit of a game, Like watching it back, like just a sequence of order of everything in the cuts, and it's just like, oh, this is not what this was at all.
Yeah, it was
TV magic, man.
My cousin's girlfriend was in Next Top Model Way.
Yeah, true.
And fuck, she said, I didn't say
that. I was very fortunate that they put my profile really well. Like it was really well received. But yeah, I can imagine they could have done anything they wanted with it.
Facials, man. The cuts they do with facials, it's amazing. And like they'll put like the facials in like an interview box, and then have someone else talking. Yeah. And you're like, that's not actually happening. This isn't a conversation. Like, you've just like put their, What a job that cutting room floor must look like.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Just going through all this roll of film, trying to find facial
So
expression.
much film as well, considering like for how much they filmed just me, you know. I was filmed the entire time. I was there, like from moment I arrived, and just filmed interviews and talking all this camera. Like I got 15 seconds, you know. Everyone only got 15 seconds. Everyone got filmed.
Yeah.
So it's like they must have some budgets on those things to pay the people just to go through the footage.
Yeah.
Let alone to actually pick all the good parts out and edit it to it's actually a nice,
Package
seamless product. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, like, I think Kimber's 2 years younger than me. I remember watching What Now? And she was on What Now as like a 13-year-old. I was just like, and then she, someone used to, I was like, that was that chick from What Now?
Yeah.
No, it was funny. We watched the first episode here, and it was me and my flatmate in the lounge, just like yarning about Kimber. And I was like, oh,
pretty hot.
I'd marry Kimber. And then my flatmate's girlfriend came out the next day. It's like, I heard you two talking about Kimber. Like, what? It's like one of those like childhood crush chicks. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she was super nice. It was weird. Like she didn't. I don't know if she came across how the best on the show.
Yeah, they tried. I felt they tried to like
make her the Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Or like they're like, I've got the experience.
Because when I was with her and she was talking to me, she was such a lovely person, and she came off like so cold on that show. Because I'm like, I didn't feel it like that.
That's the thing. So, TV's not real. It's TV. The cuts.
No, it's all the producers as well. Like they're just. I don't know how much say they even have in the show. To be honest.
No, it's pretty buzzy. It was strange. Like what? It's been 8 or maybe even 10 years since someone I used to know.
Yeah. And do you know that was the biggest song? I think it was 2010.
Yeah.
The biggest song in the world.
Yeah, she got Grammy with that.
Yeah. That's I wouldn't have thought that I can remember that song being big, but the biggest song for that, yeah. That's crazy.
And then like 10 years of living in the States, and she's on that show with this mongrel accent.
Yeah, she has the weirdest sort of American hybrid.
She had a sort of different voice anyway, probably from like all the like you say with voice training and singing training and stuff. The like pronunciation, everything. She was so clear in the way she spoke. And then 10 years in the States, or probably a little bit longer than that as well. But it comes on New Zealand show. She's got this hybrid accent.
Yeah.
Oh, this is tough to get your ears around.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sure it was one of those things that was just initially confronting, and like you say, they painted her as the cold person. And,
I can imagine that wouldn't have been great for her. But
no, she's still a darling.
Yeah. I mean, you'd still go. Still marry her.
Yeah, I still marry
her.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd
be
a weird life.
Vince, by the way, was a real G. He was awesome, real nice, supportive dude, and he still follows me on Instagram, which is cool. Yeah, so shout out Vince. But it's cool.
Nice. So
it's a weird scenario to be in, man. Like, wouldn't do any TV again, but glad I did. Yeah.
On demand TV.
It's weird because you want the exposure. Like, part of your brain's like, "Oh, this will be good for my career," but also, I don't know. It's a compromise,
Yeah, I wonder. Like, you always hear about like the second place idol, or the that sort of stigma around those shows. Like,
I don't think that's true. I think if you're just doing work, you'll probably get noticed, and if you don't,
like you said, it is probably a gamble because like there's the opportunity to get caught up in a label, but then you're also caught up in a label.
I don't want to have. I never want to be signed. Yeah. No, I am independent to a T. Yeah. And if I can't make it, then I don't want to make it. Yeah.
Did you see J. Cole's freestyle on LA Leakers?
Oh my god, bro! I've watched it 17 times.
Oh, I'm the same.
It's so good.
I keep going back to it.
Oh my god, man! That is. See, J. Cole's my biggest inspiration as a rapper. As like he's everything. I've been waiting for this damn album for so fucking long, man.
It's come out now, eh?
It's out. Yeah. It came out on.
I couldn't listen to it because I was with my daughter.
Yeah, no, you don't want to listen to it with your daughter. It's so good though, man. Yeah. It's different. He's doing. It's a different Cole that we haven't heard before.
Yeah, I hadn't. I knew who he was, but I hadn't listened to him. Yeah. So like, Yeah, I was talking about this the other day. I like went on a bit of a music hiatus. Like I was listening to lots of Apple Music through uni, so it would be like stuff that I'd buy and download.
Yeah.
And then Spotify started to come out towards the end of uni, but I didn't really engage with it. I just kept with my Apple playlist.
Yeah.
And so I would go through those songs, and I had tons of songs.
Yeah.
And then I like started working and didn't really engage with music for a good period of time.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, I downloaded Spotify again.
Right.
And I've just been on this journey of like refinding all the music and who's like brought out new stuff.
Yeah.
And like you say, rappers like J. Cole. So who was To Pimp a Butterfly?
Kendrick Lamar. Yeah.
And Frank Ocean and stuff. That was like what I was listening to. And obviously I've talked about Homebrew.
Yeah.
What I was listening to at uni. And then I've missed this massive run of awesome hip hop artists.
Yeah, there's a lot of good hip. There's just so much music out there, man. There's no way. It's like you say, "Oh, have you seen this TV series?" It's like there's too many. I don't want to hear what you have to say because I already have so many lined up.
People would say like, "Did you watch a series?" Like, I don't watch series.
I can't.
I can't.
There's no way I could keep up with anything.
Like, no time.
Same with music, man. But if you find a song you like, then that's the best feeling there.
Yeah.
And that Freestyle Man by Jake, I want to bring it back. That is so good, man. But it's weird because I was saying to Jussie, like, it's not. He's sleeping in silk sheets, and he's still so hungry
and angry.
And man, he's there. He's not. His everything is just so pro. It's so pro. He's not sloppy. You know, like the whole thing with it, like a fighter. You know, once they get the championship, you know, and then they get a bit sloppy, they just lose, you know, they get knocked out or whatever, and they can't come back.
Yeah,
he's just there still, you know, and it's not whatever he's overcome those obstacles. A lot of rappers fall, those shortcomings. A lot of rappers fall, you know, towards. And something that I really aspire to do is not have the goal of money or any sort of notoriety in my music or anything, and just literally being quality of art to be my goal, because that can never stop. And then I can just go till that. I don't understand why people would want to retire, like, you know, Logic, J. Cole, the other people saying like, oh, I'm retiring now, done with the rap. I'm like, what are you? I'm never gonna stop making art.
Yeah, it might be the scene in the States, or
but the thing is, like, you don't have to be a part of that scene to make music. You know, you can be in your room and make music, and that's the thing.
or in their case, in your studio,
in your empire, like Dead Mouse. What was it? Oh, was it like
even Jamie Foxx has it like full on.
I feel like anyone just is a good addition to have.
Yeah. You know, when you hear like Jamie Foxx talking about what he's got to set up, he's like, he has what?
Yeah. Isn't he an actor? No, he's a really talented musician as well.
Yeah.
Comedian is what? Like, he's
funny as fuck.
Yeah, he's got everything.
He can act his ass off. I can't wait for him to play Mike Tyson.
That's right. That's going to be nuts. They actually look very similar, eh?
Yeah.
They got those bulldog guys. You just don't fuck with them.
Yeah, and apparently the whole Jamie Foxx is huge
right now. Juiced up a bit.
Yeah, of course.
For sure. He's an actor.
He's an actor. He can do what he wants. No one's testing him.
That's like Jake Gyllenhaal and Southpaw Man.
Eric Bana.
Yeah.
I love Eric Bana.
Yeah.
Have you seen Funny People, Adam Sandler's
movie?
Yeah. Eric Bana's character when he plays himself as like a flat out Aussie Rules fan is the funny it's not the funniest thing ever, but in terms of a scene, like Judd Apatow. Yeah. Just comes up with some ridiculous scenes.
I think, anything that Judd Apatow and Adam Sandler do usually just goes so well. Fuck, there's some funny movies out there.
Yeah. I hope we get some more of those.
Yeah. Surely, yeah.
Surely something's like, that's what Rogan's, another thing Rogan's been talking about. It's like, how long has it been since there's been a funny movie?
Funny movie. Well, an edgy comedy, I think. Yeah, he was saying, but that's so funny is usually just edgy. But it's the culture right now, you know? It's even like, I feel like I'm not really, because even around some of my circles I'm in, I can't say certain jokes because the people my age are usually, you know, very like conscious about certain things and being like real PC.
Yeah.
And
so you're noticing that?
I'm noticing that big time. Yeah, huge, real huge, especially when it's like a friend of a friend, and then I'm in this group, and then like, obviously my intention is to make a joke here, you know, but you can't say fucked up shit around everyone, you know, you just can't. And that's, I guess, it's there's both sides are going more extreme, you know, to combat the thing, but
it's I think it's I don't know. I'm only I say I'm older, but I'm only 32. I don't know shit, but I haven't seen that much. But I think it's probably a teething thing. Yeah. Like staying at my mate's place in Takofara, there's a 13-year-old, and like it's fascinating, and that's what you're saying about the internet and seeing the world and seeing cultures, but you are also like seeing like 13-year-old culture on TikTok.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
And you're like scratching, you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
And so my mate always gives me shit. He's like, how do you know all these topics? And I was like, podcasts, social media, you know, it just comes up me like, what's that about? Like,
there's no interest, eh?
Yeah. Nah. Like, what the fuck? What's the point of this?
Yeah, and it goes both ways, you know.
Exactly.
I can just I will start talking to my, you know, Hannah in our flat, you know, me and Jussie will start going, and she's like, I'm gonna leave the room now. She's like, just doesn't understand why we can just go so deep on a conversation and just talk and get locked in, and you know. But for us, it's like this amazing thing we can, you know, we're able to talk about these ideas and topics, but and she can, obviously, I'm not putting her in anything, but it's just where your interests lie. And it's like, it seems so interesting because we find it interesting, but not everyone finds these things interesting, you know.
Well, big things to come on the podcast.
We're very excited. It's one of those things. It's like, talk about it for a million years and never do it, but I think it's definitely time.
Do you know what you're going to call it?
In the dojo. Yeah. Because Seamus actually we recorded a song called In the Dojo, and his part, he sings the hook, and it's beautiful. In the dojo. And that'll just be the intro part for it, and then it'll kick in. So looking forward to it, man.
Mean. So when are you starting?
Fuck it. Tomorrow, I don't know. Definitely. I can't say definitely. Probably in a week.
Yeah.
I'll message you.
Nice.
For my own like feeling, I'll let you know.
Nice.
And I'll try and do it ASAP. But
and you got any music coming or?
Yep. Everything's on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I haven't posted in a while on my Instagram, but it's time to start rolling some stuff out.
Making content.
I've got a bank content,
of stuff, man. Have you scheduled it?
I've scheduled it.
Oh, you got to schedule it. Jeez.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Hawke's Bay, we were looking at Instagram for work, and we went to a marketing company, and they're like, you can schedule content. And I was like, gonna need some content.
Yeah, I'm fine with the content side. I'm just got to put it out.
So we're in optometry practice. We don't have much.
No, there's not much to say, eh? Can we get your eyes checked?
We got these new glasses.
Yeah, it's weird though. Like, actually living in fear, bringing that on. A lot of the reason I haven't posted is fear of, you know, like, not knowing. It's weird, man. You spend so much time on something to create a really beautiful piece of art, and you become happy with it, but then scared to show it to everyone.
Yeah,
it's a weird feeling, man. And I'd say a huge actual help would be Jack for that reason, because he's the king of content. He posts every fucking day. How many posts? He's just never stopping. And you know, he said to me, he's like, yeah, you got to shut the fuck up, because you are not doing this for them. You're creating it for yourself. So put it out there, because that's what you love to do, not because you're worried about anything else. Just simplify it to that. Because on his wall, he said he's written, I create content because I love to create content. And that's what he lives by. So he doesn't think like, oh, have I posted too much, or is people not liking it? No, this is what I like to do. So he's doing it. And that's I'm taking a big page out of his book for the next upcoming, you know, dropping this new stuff I've been making, man.
Well, good.
Yeah,
and sometimes Sons will be dropping some stuff too.
Yep, no, we will be. I mean, we're still like a new, fresh group, but we've actually, we're planning an album, so should be good.
So, Zonny.flow, right?
Zonny.flow, yeah.
And that's across everything? Your Spotify's just Zonny, eh?
Yeah, just Zonny, just search Zonny and you'll find me. And if you look for, my logo's a yin yang, so if you see Zonny and it's dot whatever, and it's got the yin yang, just go there, and that'll be me.
That's you. That's you.
Yeah. This was fun, man.
Yeah. You got any exhibitions?
No, I'm just kind of online. I think that's where I kind of want to stay, and then when things pop up, just jump in.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you talked about being in your flow state for work. Like, what's crucial? What drives that? Is it just making the space, being disciplined?
Yeah, I mean, there's no recipe. I think you can get everything in order and still not achieve it. Yeah. And you can have nothing in order and then achieve it. So I think the biggest part is just starting.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's how you be in flow. Just start.
Start. Because anytime you've been in flow, you hadn't thought about it. You just got going. You got moving, and then you lost yourself. Like when you're writing, or if you're podcasting. Like this podcast. It's just happened.
Yeah.
But at the start, if you overthink it, it doesn't happen. But if you just start it, and then you get into the flow, and then you're like slowly, you're like, oh shit, how long has it been? I could never tell you how long I don't know. I don't know how long it's been, because I've been in flow. Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing.
It's coffee time, and it's 3:00. You're like, damn, I can't have my coffee.
Yeah. I think getting lost in what you're doing is flow. Yeah.
Mint. This has been really, really fun.
It's been a cool podcast, man. First podcast. I'm glad I could do it with you, man.
Nice. Awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.